just for those of you who don't know Keeling's, we've been around a while. We just celebrated our 90th birthday. All my friends were saying, congratulations on your 90th, which really cheered me up. But no, you can see my grandfather is actually in the middle of that photograph. People in the 30s are picking strawberries there. Now we've moved on the production slightly better since then. And you can see more high-tech pepper production and then moving more into the brand side of it. So I believe our commercial and sales and marketing director is talking this afternoon about the more exciting side of branding. We have about 2,300 people. We've people based in the UK, Ireland obviously, UK, Spain, France and China. We grow about 30 million worth of Irish produce. That's grown from, in 1998 we were growing less than a million. So we've really expanded that Irish production in the last number of years. Our brand now at this stage is 17 in Kantar. So we only really launched the brand in 2010. So we've been putting a lot of effort behind the brand and trying to encourage a brand in produce because we believe quite strongly in the branding of our own product. We also procure from around 42 different countries around the world, and we market our produce in about 16 different countries. So probably the furthest away is Hong Kong. So for one Mother's Day we flew out Irish strawberries, so that people in Hong Kong were giving their mother a present of Irish strawberries for Mother's Day. We also have an ERP system which we have 3 third-party clients for. So one of the things I just wanted to share this morning was around key success factors. So what are the key success factors Keeling's believes contributes to our business? So it's really around people, product and processes. So in our people, we really focus hard on values. We focus hard when we're recruiting, particularly on attitude. You can see our logo, our passion delivers. So that is very much around the attitude and the attitude of the people we have in our team. And we're really, really lucky. We have an awful lot of people who have a lot of passion for the business. And then skills, some of which people have before they come in and bring with them, some of which we try to develop while they're in the business. So it's a key thing we look at with our people, their values, their attitude and their skills. Product-wise, again, we're looking, we were very much in a commodity business, is how a lot of people view produce. We don't. We think there's a lot of ways of differentiating it, and we've worked really hard to try and see how we can differentiate our products. Also, through that is with quality. So we really focus on quality and delivery of the right products. So we're constantly, I think we had 72 different R&D projects going on strawberries last year, just on ways and means of improving the quality of them. Innovation, again, is very important to us. One of the things we've been trying to do, when we started in '98, we were really growing from sort of May until probably end of September, October. We're now picking our first strawberries before Patrick's Day, and we can go into sort of mid-December. And there's new technology out now that maybe in 2 to 3 years' time we'll be able to go into January. So we'll nearly have sort of only February and maybe 6 weeks where we don't have Irish strawberries available. So it's a constant thing we're pushing. And then the other area is on innovation on health. So we look at how we can drive more convenient produce, because it is one of the reasons people find it challenging to get their 5 a day every day, is how can we make the product more convenient, which is why we launched the snack pots. So then on our processes, we do feel that that's part of Keeling's success, is how we work our processes, because we are in a low margin industry. If anybody in the food and drink industry has a high margin, lucky you. But in our area it's quite low margin, so every penny is a prisoner, and how we can capture each penny is massively important, and it is hugely important in our minds for our longevity and our success, because we're a 3rd generation family business. So we have a lot of responsibility to pass that on to the 4th generation and make sure that the business is in a better state than we got it in, which we were lucky enough to get it in a good state. You want to hand it on with a better and more competitive processes. So we focus very much on lean and continuous improvement. We also focus a lot on the balance between efficiency and service, which I think can be a challenge in our industry. Service is very important, but it can lead to inefficiency. So we're always trying to get that balance right to deliver the service the customer needs, but balancing that off with efficiencies. And then the last area, which I'll probably expand on a little bit more, is ERP. So it's Enterprise Resource Planning Systems. So the tools, the software tools that we use to run our business. We feel that there is significant competitive advantage for us. So the key things that we sort of look for in our system, in our ERP system, to make sure that it delivers for us is real-time, accurate, multi-dimensional profitability. So when I first started running a business in the company in 2002, we really at that time had monthly profitability accurately, which is far too late in our industry. It's by the time you've worked out what went wrong, you're nearly 6 weeks after the fact, and usually you're potentially onto a different season, so you can't fix the problem properly. So these days, we're now, every single day, we have accurate profitability. So every single person who runs an area in our business can see every line and how profitable they are. And for us, that's the way of driving constant improvement and not having issues that are 6 weeks old to be dealt with, that we're constantly on top of all of our issues. The other thing is to make sure that it's accurate. One of the challenges we used to have when we started trying to control profitability and daily profitability and weekly profitability is when we come to the accounts, there'd always be some level of surprise somewhere in the mix. And really what we're using our system to do is to capture all costs within the business and enable us to make sure that we accurately report them so that you don't get a surprise at the end of the month, because none of us really like surprises, particularly as it's always a negative of 10k, not a positive of 10k. The control of our operating model as well. We're now doing probably about 1,500 SKUs through one of our facilities with about 600-700 people working in it. In order to manage that, you have to make sure that you have disciplines and you have processes and procedures. And the system really helps keep that controlled because it's very measured. Every activity everybody does is scanned within the system, so everything is captured. So if people try to bypass the system, it's very much identified, and that way we can manage people and train people to ensure that we're following the correct processes. I do remember speaking to a German company about who are looking to license their system, and when I was explaining to them that our system makes people stick to the same practices all the time, and the German company was, well, if you have agreed the practice, why would somebody do it different? Obviously they haven't met us Irish people, we always like to find some new way of doing something. So then on the customer service information, it's always a challenge. You get a phone call from a customer. I love that I can just dive into the computer and just have a quick look and see where the stats are, so I don't get caught on the hop by anyone. So it's always useful. Like, we do have weekly measures to make sure that somebody doesn't get lost in the mix, and because they're not shouting about a problem, we need to make sure that we're constantly on top of any problems that any of our customers might have, and that we're constantly rectifying before they come to us about it. The accurate and real-time stock, again, working with that number of SKUs, and equally with product categories like berries, where we try very hard to have less than 1 day's stock in our depot and deliver a 99.9+% service level. The guys need to be really, really good at managing stock, so we need to give them the best tools possible to make sure that they can manage their stock in order to deliver that result. Because if we go over a day and a half in berries, we start having problems that we need to sell off stock and stuff like that. So it's really critical for us and profitability to make sure that from a quality and a profit point of view, we manage that stock hourly in the berry category, probably daily in the apple category, and it's literally keeping on top of everything. Integrated quality control, quality and food safety have become more and more important over the last number of years. And again, transparency for your customers, so having all the information available, but also quality control is massive for managing suppliers. So in order to make sure that your suppliers are reacting properly to any quality issues coming up, we make sure that everything is automated back to suppliers. So when we have any quality issues or anything like that, it's automatically forwarded back to suppliers, but also the information is automatically sent to all the relevant people within our business who need to make decisions about the product, so that we don't have to wait till our people sort of go into the system. The system will tell our people if there's anything not meeting standards. Again, one of the key areas for us is production costs. It's a massive challenge in order to get accurately where you're making your money and where you're not making your money. So if, we have in the past thought we were making good money on a particular product, but what we didn't realise was the quantum of labour it was taking within our business was actually eating up all that profit. And there were other categories who didn't look as profitable, but when you get down to the detail of every single penny we spend on them, they're actually more profitable. And it's really helped us get a really good control over all of our costs and understanding what is profitable for us and what's not profitable for us. So it's a key area. It's also labour management, which is massive, in order to make sure that we have properly planned and controlled our labour costs, which are continually rising, and it is a challenge to make sure that we manage productivity. And then the last thing, but probably the one that's most important for me, is accurate live reporting. So everybody's business is slightly different. Everybody has numbers that they know. If I get them every day, I'll know how my business is doing, or every week. And it's key to get the reporting set up accurately, because the system will gather all the data, and then the reporting tool will suck out that data in whatever method you want to drive your business. And I think that's a key requirement to make sure that everybody in your business has the information that they need to make the decisions that they need to make in a timely basis. So that just sort of gives you a little flavour of what the ERP has done for Keeling's. As you can imagine, we're a farming business. We've expanded a little bit, but you can imagine when I went to the board in 2011 and said I'd had this wonderful idea. Every time we take over a company or we create a new company and we put our system in, we can see the profitability improving. So I have had this wonderful idea about why don't we license this software that we've written ourselves to other companies. And I think it was more than half the board thought I was mad. And who knows, they could be right. But we then decided that we would launch it. And again, I think a lot of businesses have a skill set that they've developed over the years that sometimes can actually be leveraged and can be sold in a different way. Because I'm never going to build factories in China to grow fruit or to package fruit. But I can license my software in China, which we have been, and Holland as well. So we've started slow. We put a plan together, and I think anybody who has a skill set that they think they could leverage out of their business, it's well worth looking at to see if there is an area that is something that they could leverage out of, let's say, just Ireland and sell significantly abroad. So that's why we've looked at it. We've been expanding slowly. So we've got a couple of clients in Ireland, a couple in Holland, and we've one in China. And it's been a very interesting journey for us. We're only really starting in the Irish market at the moment. So we're starting to look at to see if we can build up some clients in the Irish market as well, because it is something that we do believe can drive profitability within businesses, and we sort of have the proof of the pudding within our own business, because we kind of understand a lot of the challenges with it's hard to find something faster moving than berries in the industry. So really today I just wanted to give you a short flavour of what we're doing with the ERP and one of why we think it's a success factor for Keeling's.